Hi all. So we have studied the selection statements under control statements. That is, we have already seen there are three types of control statements. First one was selection statements, second one was iterative statements, and then third one was jumping statements. In that we have seen the selection statements like if else, else if ladder, and also switch case. Now we are going to see the iterative statements. So the commonly used iterative statements in C language are while loop, you have do while loop and for loop. So before going on to these three statements, we should understand what exactly a iterative statement is. So iterative statements are used when you want to repeatedly execute a certain line of program or line in your program. For example, if I am writing a program for printing my name and I want to print the name for 100 times. So what we can do there? I will repeat it. I am writing a program to print my name. So let me write the program here and I will explain it here. So my program is to print my name 100 times. That is, first of all, I'm going to write the header file for that. And the main starting point of your program is a void main, and you have the opening and closing braces, and I want to print my name, that is my name is Gobu Darshan. So I want to print my name here. So if you write this code and if I run this program, it will print my name once because there is only one printf statement that is written there. And if I want to print it twice, I can write one more printf statement here. If I write the printf statement here again, so if I write two printf statements here, it will repeatedly print Gobu Darshan twice. You can see that. If I want to do it three times, again you can write the printf statement. Right. So now if I want to print my name for 100 times or 1000 times, it will be very difficult for us to write this printf statement 100 times in your program. Instead of doing that, if I can write my printf statement once, that is like this, and if I can repeatedly execute this line, repeatedly execute this single line in my program, I can print that name 100 times or many times. So in those cases, if I want to repeatedly execute a certain line in your program, you can go for something called iterative statements, or we call it as looping statements. So looping statement means you're repeatedly executing a particular line in your program for n times. So in those cases, we can do this repeated execution using three types of loops. That is the iterative statements that I've shown you before. The first type of loop that you can use here is the while loop. So how will you execute while loop here? So if I want to print my name 100 times, I will write a while statement here. The while loop has a syntax like while, then you have in the bracket, you are going to put a condition there, and in that statement you are going to write the statement. So you can see the syntax here, while bracket, in that thing you have to put a condition. Based on the condition, this statement will execute. So I'm just writing the if condition here. If you already studied the if statement, what happens in if statement is if the condition is satisfied, it will execute this line of code only one time. Understood? That is, if statement is written there, once the condition is satisfied, it enter inside the if condition. If you're writing another statement here, that statement will also be executed and it will come to the end of that if statement. But in the case of while statement, what happens there is it will come to the condition, and condition would be anything. If I'm writing like I less than 100 as an example, I less than 100 as a condition, and I'm setting I as 50, and I'm declaring I here. Think of a program like this. So what happens here is we are declaring a variable I, and I is having a value 50, and that is this step we call it as initialization. I is initialized as 50, and what happens in the while loop is it will check the condition, that is 50 is less than 100, the condition is satisfied. If that condition is satisfied, it enter inside the while loop, and it will execute that statement that you have inside the while loop. It can be a single line statement, or it can be any number of lines. It will execute all those lines that is written inside the while loop, and as soon as it see the closing bracket, what it does is it comes back to this condition again. Understood? So here it is 50, so again the value of I is 50, so it again satisfies the condition and it comes inside this loop. So this process will repeat until this condition is failed. So this kind of repeated execution is called as while loop. So in this program, what I am trying to do is I am trying to print the name here, print the name that is written here 100 times. So I'll start from the first location, that is I is equal to 1. So 1 is less than 100, it is true. So it comes inside the while loop, and it will print Gobu Darshan, and as soon as it see this closing braces, it comes back to the conditional statement. Again the I value is 1, so I value is not getting changed. So what happens is this line, this complete printf statement will be executed infinite times. So think of a statement like this. I'm putting an increment statement here. So what happens here is initially I value is 1. It comes 1 is less than 100, that is satisfied. It enter inside it and it print Gobu Darshan. And then the next line that is written is I plus plus. I plus plus means you are incrementing the value of I by 1. So I becomes 2. So as the closing, when it sees the closing bracket, it comes back to this statement, that is 2 is less than 100. And this condition is satisfied, it enter inside the loop, and again it comes back to this 3, it becomes 3, 4, 5, 6, and it repeats this statement until I becomes 100. So when I is becoming 100, 100 is less than 100 fails. So it will be printing this statement 99 times. So if you want to print it 100 times, you can go for equal to symbol here. So this is how a while loop works. So I'm just running this program, you can see the output there. So you can see that this Gobu Darshan is printed 100 times on your screen. So if you want to print it each and every Gobu Darshan new line, you can put a /n here. That is the formatting thing, that is the escape sequence that you use there. Now you can see the output. So now it is printing 100 times in this program. So this is what a while loop is. While loop is an iterative statement which execute a particular line of code repeatedly n number of times. So again, if I put another statement here, writing my college name, Sri Buddha. So what happens here is it will execute both these lines 100 times. So there's a semicolon missing here. You can see that. So you can see first it will be printing Gobu Darshan, so Sri Buddha, because it's at the very top you have Gobu Darshan. So this is how a while loop works. So while loop works in a statement like if the condition is satisfied, that is the statements that is written inside the while loop is executed repeatedly until this condition is satisfied. If the condition fails, it comes out of the while loop. This is how a while loop works. Thank you.